Hello, welcome back. I'm Charlie. We're working on another signature for our Golden Harmony album. And this is going to be signature number 2. And this is the piece I'm using for my base page. All my base pages are cut from 12 by 12s. So this is going to measure at 7 7/8 across and 8 5/8 in the height. So here across the bottom, I went into my scraps and I found a piece that I liked, and it had this book here, and over here it had boots, but the boots were cut off at the top. And then remember when I told you about that little stack of books with the flowers that I wanted to use it? So I found that scrap again and I cut that out, and I'm going to put that right next to it. So that's going to be the bottom of the pocket assembly. This measures at 3 inches by your 7 7/8 going across. And then I trimmed this down. I think I took about a 1/2 inch off the top of this, and I trimmed it off here so that I wanted to keep this main piece, and then I wanted to stack this one here next to it. So let's go ahead and get this assembled, and then we'll work into our flaps. Right, come down here in this corner and then bring it across to this corner. And then I'm going to glue this piece on. And then I'm going to glue this down. I know this is proportionately not the same size, but I like it. So if you don't want to add it, you don't have to. All right, so our first flap, we're going to work with the right side, and you're going to have 2 of these because you're going to have a flap on each side. They're going to be the same. So this is going to be at 4 5/8 by your, this one is by 8 inches, and then you're going to have a 1/2 inch score. So this is going to come in, because we're working with 8 by 8s on this, this one's going to come in short of the top and the bottom, so you're just going to do your best to center it in there. And then we'll burnish that really good. And let's go ahead and let's put together the right side. It's the same process, the same size. And I'm going to line them up together here on the front and turn it over so that these two match. So now we've got these two together. And then I'm not ready quite to put the paper on. I want to get all the cardstock attached, and then we'll go through and add our embellishments. All right, your right side, the next panel, will measure at 5 3/8 by 8 1/2. That should measure this height. I gotta turn it over so I can see it. See, this is 8 5/8. Am I just measuring this wrong? Yeah, I'm just measuring this wrong. This is 8 5/8. On this one, you're going to have a 1/2 inch score and a 5/8 of an inch score, and it's going to wrap around the 1/2 inch piece that you put on. This one I want to come right up to the 1/2 inch gusset, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give a gentle tap, push back, and then roll this over. Push this back, kind of remind that 5/8 it's got a job to do. So this is where my gusset line is, and my gusset is flat against the edge. I'm going to hold off on this. I want to put this panel on first, which is your left side. You're going to have your 8 5/8 in your height. This one's going to measure at just a hair over 5 1/4. So you could go either 5 1/4 or 5 5/8, but you're better off, it's just one hair over. So you can decide if you want to shorten it by 1/16 or enlarge it by 1/16. I did not intend to get a goofy measurement there. So I'm just going to say 5 1/4 by your 8 5/8, and you're going to have a 1/2 inch score, and you're going to have a 5/8 of an inch score. Okay? Same process. It's going to wrap around the end of this. I want this gusset to be flat on the edge. There we go. Push back. There we go. All right. Now this piece is going to create our pocket on this side. So it is measuring in at 4 3/4 of an inch by 9 5/8. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch on each end, and then I ran a little bit of tape. I'm going to close these. I have been rounding my corners so that I can get those to match up. I'm going to do them first. I want my corners to match. Well, that was just not a successful placement. There we go. Now for my pocket insert, I corrected the one I did on the previous signature. I want an opposite color for my pocket inserts. So I went and chose the tan again, and then so that it sits about yay. So this little guy here measures 4 3/8 by 8 1/4. And I did not get this set right, so I am going to trim this so I don't see the glue, the tape. There, much better. So this is just going to sit in here like so. All right, now we're going to get to this piece. This piece is going to come in on the right this time, and then it's going to fold over, and we're going to put our magnet here. So the measurement on this is 6 3/4 inches by 6 1/8. You're going to have a 1/2 inch score, and you're going to have a 5/8 inch score, and this gusset you're creating needs to wrap this. So we're going to find center just as best as we can. I'm just going to eyeball it. Pinch it flat. My hand slipped. And then we're going to wrap this right around the gusset we've already got on here. To do that, I am just to the outside of that 5/8 gusset line where I lined up my paper. Okay, now I want this to hold tight, so I'm going to take my magnets and I'm going to place this right here. I'm going to put a bit of tape over it so that it does not go on a walkabout. Then I'm going to put a piece of paper here, and I'm going to let this find its mate. And then I'm going to put some tape on the underside of this. Fold the excess over. And then I am going to close this, making sure that I keep this gusset nice and tight, and then commit that tape. Perfect. I'm just going to run a little bit of tape over this one as well so it doesn't go on a walkabout. All right. So getting in here, if I can remember which pieces I had where, because now I've got them strewn all over the place. All right, so this one is going to go here. All right, so 2 8x8s is what you're going to play with. The 8x8 you're going to play with are 2 of these. You're going to have one to the outside that's going to have all the postcard markings and the letters. And then on the inside, you're going to have the single postcard up at the top. And then on this side, we're also going to take and add just a tad bit of floral. I'm just going to tack down along here, and this will become a talk. For this side, oh, you know what? Oh, hold on here. I'm getting myself thoroughly confused now. Like I said, I've got too many. There we go. I've got too many pieces all over the place. All right, so here's your other two out of the 8x8s. I'm remembering what I did now. There's too many pieces that, like, these look awfully similar. So these are here on the outside. I think I punched the corner on this the wrong way. So let me play with this you've got your two 8x8s, the one with the postcards, the one with the suitcase, but because I punched the wrong corner, I may have to kind of mix and match on mine. Okay, those two match and will line up that way. I hate it when I do this to myself. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm fine. So these two are one. And so then when you cut them in half, you're going to put one half on this side and the other half here. Then you're going to close these, and the partners, not this side, but the reverse side, is what you're putting here. And I've chosen not to do anything with this side because I think these would make great backgrounds for putting photos in. But I did want to put this floral arrangement down here across the bottom so that you have kind of a nice little assembly of images here. So let's go ahead and let's get these glued in. I got myself straightened out. I can't see what I'm doing here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and attach everything on this side. And I did a cut to fit. Okay, I'm going to slide this in here so I can see the edge of the paper. There's all this wonderful green against green. And then I'm going to tack this down. I want this floral piece to come up here. So I'm just going to carefully tack it down along this outer edge and across the bottom. But I'm not going to go all the way to the top. Little excess glue, nothing to worry about. I'll use this piece so this becomes a nice pretty tuck. All right, I'm going to close these, and now we're going to put the reverse side down. I think that'll make a really nice looking backdrop on this. And then this is the reverse side. All right, so these are done. Now these flaps here, we're going to use 12 by 12s. This is the 12 by 12. It's got a yellow pattern on it, and on the reverse side it had a lot of goodies. That's where I'm getting these from. But I didn't want this big home image to be in the middle of it, so I'm using the reverse side. So this is going to get glued down. And if you trim it across the top so that you have these elements, then you'll be able to use these, because you'll use it here on this panel and this panel. So measure your height on this piece and then cut the top off at the height. And then you can cut down the center of the piece you just separated the top from. That way, like I said, you'll have these. Okay, so this piece here that I trimmed measures, just a hair over 2 3/4. So just trim it down to 2 3/4 for what you're gonna do. And then I'm gonna run some tape on this. And I've rounded my corner down here. And that's where I'm going to start for my placement. And then this is going to trim to come in here and fit. Okay. And now we will set this side. We're going to kind of do the same thing. I took one of the cards, and that will make for, I think, a really nice pocket accent. So I'm going to stick it right there. All right, so here we go again. We're going to glue this side down. See the edge of my, there it is. Oh, I could not see the edge. All right, and then this is going to sit in right here. And I forgot to put tape on this one again. Okay. Got that one on. And then of the strip, it was about yay long. I wanted the clock is the piece I was focusing on. So when I trim this, I trim to the clock. So you might want to trim to the jars. You might want to trim in the middle. So you can cut it whichever direction makes you happy. It's your album. All right, so now we have these panels. I need to set this one, and this one. All right. This is going to go here. I have to find my pieces. I am missing. Okay, all right. Phew. I just needed to turn that over. Now where is, here we go. Okay, so for in here, you should probably have a scrap like so. It was hard for me to find a scrap that was wide enough to help bridge the gap here because I've been using pieces to do that. So this was the one that I found, and this doesn't look too pretty like this, half a chair. So I turned it over, and this is what I'm going to take. I used tape to put down. And then in my scraps, I did find this piece. I thought it was quite interesting, a nice focal. So this is what's going to go outside of the tuck, and then I'm going to tuck one of these bookmarks in here. So let me get this taped on. Using my fingernail to try to create a curve. Okay. Line this up right here. Let the tape underneath hold it in place. And now I'm going to put tape on this piece. Oh, let me give you the measurement for this. Hold on. This piece is measuring in right at 3 inches by 6 1/8 because it's going to go the height of this. And it should cover that piece I just set down. It should cover it about 1/4 of an inch so you won't see that edge. Oh, there it is. Okay, right in front of that gusset mark. And you see it covers that edge quite nicely. And then I'm going to glue this kind of cool piece. Found it in my scraps. And I'm just going to set that right in there. I think that's a cool piece. And then there's my pocket tuck. All right, so that's all done. So let's play with the outsides here. So out of your 8x8, you're going to grab this sheet. You're going to cut it right dead down the middle. And then it's going to fit just a smidgen off this green edge. And then the other piece is just going to fit right in here. Now, what I did, I went to the cut-aparts off the 12x12 and I fussy cut that out. And I cut this out, and I'm going to use some pop-ups so that this kind of lifts up just a little bit, so it looks like that we've really got some plants there. Now, I've cut my 1/2-inch strips off of this piece. You'll want to cut, I think I cut 2. And we'll be putting the top and bottom pieces on first, and then we'll put the center piece on along the outside right edge. Oh, I just dropped one. Okay, just a second. I have to find my greenery. It landed on the floor somewhere. Okay, and then we'll get this one put in. Okay. And I'm going to grab my pop-ups. Excuse the reach. I should have had this done. I apologize. I think I'm just going to cut another one just to kind of bridge that gap right there in the middle. I don't want that to be a saggy, weak point. Too big. Okay, so this one's going to sit here like this. sure I got all that off of there. Now, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but I'd like to see a little bit of movement here. And then this one's going to pop up right here. So I need the pop-ups just to the outside of this. Okay, hold on. I have to remember what I saw when I laid this down there. All right, so this edge right here is going to land right here. So I don't need to put a pop-up on there. I just want to drop this down just a little bit. And you'll still see the greenery from behind. Well, it'll just look like it's a double layer of plants. So all I did was this side and up through here so that to give it some support and some balance. And this is just going to rest right on there, and down it goes. Pretty cool. I think so. Now we're going to close this, and we're going to kind of repeat the process over here for the other half. So you can see that when this is all framed in and this is open, this has an appearance of being set back a little bit farther into the room. And we've got some plants that are there in the corner. I think it's kind of a cool texture. I like lifting things up off paper. All right, so we've got that one on. I need to turn this around so I can see where I'm putting it. All right. And we're framing this on the outside. And then I'm going to tape this side down. Take that piece off. And then I'm going to center this. A little bit of green on the edge. Perfect. All right, so that's your 8 by 8 framed in. Now we'll finish the outside. Okay, I did something a little different. Not too much, but a little different. Okay, I'm still playing with this side. Like I said, sometimes the sentiment that's on these just aren't working for me. Now, if you want to use the reverse side and change this up, absolutely by all means. I love the green border around this. All right, now we're going to put this card piece here, measures at 8.5, 8.5, Charlie, at 3.5. I don't know what I was thinking, by 5.5. And I'm just going to tape 3 sides. I don't know what I was thinking. They're 8.5. Oh my gosh. I know somebody out there is going, that's not what the ruler says. I can just hear it. All right, so when I put this down, I'm going to come just inside this border and center it and create another one of those pockets. So I'm just going to center and come right down that green border. And it allows this potted plant to still shine through. Okay, this card just doesn't seem to apply. You don't have welcome this far through. So I'm turning this one over this time, and I'm going to frame it in on here. And then what I'm putting in, what makes more sense to me, is Inspire. And this came out of the 8x8. And I'm just going to drop it right in here. All right. So I'm just going to change it up just a tad bit. And then we'll use this out of the 8x8 collection. And we will do our best to just center it in there. And then I took the other 8x8 and I created another little envelope with a magnet and then tuck a sentiment inside, and you can change any sentiment, put in whatever you want in there. All right, so I think we're at a point where we can put some tape here on the back side, and we'll get this put into the album. I had just enough to do this, my gosh. That roll is just about gone. And then using 3/8, I'm just gonna come in here with a little bit of center support. Okay, not trying to make you dizzy. All right, let's grab our album. And this is going to come in here like so. And I'm going to turn it this way. See if I can keep my streak going here with pulling that one off. Oh, I think I took the wrong one off. Ugh. I did. Okay, I'm just not ready to deal with all this tape floating here, so I'm going to take that off. Put it up there. All right, center, top to bottom, just in front of the page. Get myself situated here, and then down goes the tape. All right. So I'll sneak in here now and take out the rest of it. This one's pretty easy, I thought. Come here. There we go. And I'll get this one out of there. And I'm going to push back on this gusset to make sure that it's standing up straight and tall. Now we'll go inside and we'll give this a good burnish. All right, look at that. We've got her done. Thank you for hanging in there. We've got another signature coming up. So until then, bye-bye.